right, I think I got it. All right, I am Billy Arrowsmith here with Wikia, and this is...
I'm Sean Schemmel. I'm best known as the voice of Goku on Dragon Ball Z.
I'm Christopher Sabat. I'm the voice of Vegeta and Piccolo on Dragon Ball Z.
All right, so I went to the panel earlier. You guys were talking about Resurrection F. One of the things that you brought up that I thought was really interesting was the ways that your interpretations of the characters were different than what you thought was written in original by Toriyama. You were talking about how Toriyama said that Goku sort of is an unsympathetic character. I'm just kind of curious, how do you guys feel like the characters you play have evolved during the time? Because you guys have been playing these characters for years. How do you feel like they've evolved?
I think my voice acting's evolved more than the character. I don't think Goku's the least evolutionary character other than his transformations because he's fundamentally the same throughout his entire story arc, whereas Piccolo and Vegeta and other characters have a genuine, story arc where they go through more changes than Goku.
Yeah, my understanding of the show has evolved over time as there are more wikis and Wikias and things like that help us honestly with our job. I can't tell you the number of times I've actually had to refer to an online source to go, okay, exactly how many times did this happen? But Vegeta, I think, as opposed to Goku, has had one of the best evolutions of any character over the series. It's kind of what is so amazing about him.
Part of this question is also, do you guys feel like the way that you've chosen to play these characters has changed over the years?
I mean, I think we've kind of kept true. I mean, as our understanding of the characters changed, so does some of the choices we do for individual lines. I mean, Kai, we may have treated a little bit differently than Z, because neither of us really even knew a whole lot about what was going on with Z. And Kai, we had a much better translation and a lot more understanding of the characters and about 15 more years of experience working on Dragon Ball. But I don't know. The only thing I did differently was the original voice I had to do for Vegeta was certainly a lot higher because I was trying to copy Brian Drummond's voice. And then over the years, I kind of let that voice slip down, partially because I wanted to and I think it felt right for the character, and partially because I just couldn't do that super crazy high voice all the time. My voice was getting torn to shreds. So
all right, so we talk about. I'm sure as voice actors, you guys get the question all the time: how often do you get recognized? I want to take that a step further. I'm curious, you guys have had any interactions with fans that were particularly amazing or terrible, like a best or worst experience?
I mean, I get recognized a lot when I don't expect to. Like I went to go buy a camera the other day at Best Buy, and I got recognized by 2 employees. So that was kind of weird. And flattering, certainly. I can't think of that really terrible interaction.
I gotta say, we get recognized periodically. It's not all the time, but usually your chances of being recognized increase exponentially if you're at GameStop or at a grocery store.
Oh, I'm sure.
For some reason. But I'd say one of my favorite fan interactions ever was when I was first dating my wife. Before we got, long before we got married, is when we were first dating. We were at a movie theater going to see some random movie together, and afterwards, I mean, she didn't know much about what I did, or maybe she knew a little bit, but had no idea kind of really what it was about. I got stopped because, "Are you Christopher Sabat?" I was like, "Yeah." Can I get a picture with you? I'm like, "Oh gosh, I'm sure that'd be awesome." And I felt like the coolest person in the world because somebody literally just asked for my photograph. A stranger asked for my photograph in the movie theater, so it gave me extra points with my wife at that moment.
That's awesome.
He totally got laid that night.
I did.
Totally.
I did.
Now they have 2 babies.
Yeah, we had sex twice.
Related question to that, is there anything that that people ask you guys to do a lot when they see you, or they ask you a lot of
over 9,000
you hate? What's the
over
worst
9,
thing that people ask you?
Just the over 9,000 thing.
Kamehameha.
I'm sure you get that all the time.
Over 9,000 gets asked of me a lot, and I can't deny its impact and deny how important it is to a lot of people because it's a meme, but it gets really tiresome. The other thing that gets a little bit frustrating is sometimes being asked to do lines that aren't actually from Dragon Ball Z, like from the abridged series and stuff like that. That we haven't even heard. So
I'm sure
that's the only time it gets a little awkward.
I do just because I'm a big comic book guy. I have to ask. Everybody always talks about Superman versus Goku. Do you guys think that Goku could beat Superman?
No.
Yes.
Flat out, you say yes.
Well, because of God mode. What is that? It's Goku.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but that's...
I say no because I play Vegeta and I'm an asshole.
I say yes because I play No, I've analyzed it. Probably not... I don't know. Superman's vulnerable to 2 things. Magic and kryptonite. Sorry, my throat.
All right, take your time.
Superman's vulnerable to 2 things: magic and nudity.
And,
Sorry.
And Goku's power is not based on magic or its chi or energy. So Goku's also the type of person that would be like, hey, I want to fight you at your strongest, so go get really close to the yellow sun and get really charged up, and then I'll fight you. But if Earth was in danger, he might do instant transmission to a planet with no yellow sun, and then take Superman there, and then he could beat him.
He could take Superman to a place with a red sun and immediately destroy him.
Right, so there's that.
That's happened
and then
before.
in God mode, which the powers of which have not been delineated, what does that mean? You know, like all they do in the movies is like he has blue hair, and he's faster and stronger and more powerful, but they don't spell out what the extent of those powers are.
I would say that Superman would win only because Vegeta would secretly help him in some way.
That's funny.
Awesome. 2 more questions. Number 1, so you guys are here a lot to promote Resurrection F. If there's one thing you could say to people who haven't seen it yet to get them to go out and buy it, what would it be?
Watch Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. Like, wait for the DVD and then just do a double feature in the afternoon. It's because they go together really well.
Yeah, if you are listening to this interview and it means anything to you at all, go see Resurrection F and Battle of Gods. Like, go get those films. I mean, you're the last person to have seen it because a lot of people saw it in the theater. It's amazing. It's the best dubs that we've done for Dragon Ball, and it's some of the best material that we've ever worked on for the Dragon Ball Z series. And I'm not kidding. It looks beautiful. It's got a great story. If you're a fan of the series, there's a lot of fan service in it. There's also some great action and incredible surprises at the end of one of them. Like, I just couldn't recommend anything more highly.
All right, awesome. And last question, what are you guys fans of right now? What are you reading or watching or listening to that you wish more people were reading or watching or listening to?
Well, I'm playing a lot of games. Like, I think Shadow Warrior is the sleeper hit on PS4 right now. I think that game is so good.
That's your plug?
What's that?
That's your plug? I wasn't saying that. Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm not done. And there's also The Witcher, which I really enjoy. And I also just finished up... what shows am I watching? I'm catching up on all the shows that are like off the air. Like, I just finished The Newsroom. I think Bree's talking me into watching Suits for some reason.
Yep.
And then and I'm watching, like, I was binging and everything I can because I've already binged Homeland.
Yeah.
I've already binged everything I can, and I'm waiting for new Sherlock. So there's that.
Yeah,
aren't we all?
Sherlock is the most brilliant show ever. I have 2 kids, so my time is very limited. After I get home from working all day and I have to deal with putting them to bed, I usually get only a handful of hours. So in those few hours, sometimes silence is best for me, but when I am watching stuff, I just finally finished the end of Hannibal, which I think is the most beautiful series that has ever been made for television. Just from an art direction standpoint, it's phenomenal. Even from a food styling standpoint, it's incredible. And I'm really pleased so far with Fear of the Walking Dead. I kind of like that series so far. Like, I'm far more interested in the timeline of the series where it is now than I ever was at what's happened so far down the line in the regular Walking Dead.
I want to binge Gotham, and I was binging Arrow, but I got honestly disgusted with that show because even though the cast is great and it's a great concept...
You still on the first season?
Yeah.
First season of Arrow is real hard to get through.
And then I got through the second season. The problem I'm having with the show...
Yeah.
And I talked to one of the cast members who told me the third season gets really good because he's on it. The problem I have with the show is there's none of the characters have any redeeming qualities. And then, like, the mother and the daughter having these stupid conversations that have nothing to do with anything. I'm like, what are these 2 idiots talking about? And everyone's like, there's nobody with any, like, everyone's so vapid. I'm like, I really want to like this show and like these characters. And it's just like, okay, everyone's just shallow and selfish and horrible and has a horrible dark past. And I'm like, nobody's got any redeeming qualities. Even though I think the acting's fine and I want to like the show. So I stopped watching it because I started getting sick, but apparently it's supposed to get better. I'm in season 2 now, I think.
All of the problems I had with the characters were very much the same at that point, and they all get better.
Thank God, because I was like, I just want to throw up after a while.
I know the feeling.
But anyway, let's...
All right,
that show.
Awesome. That was fantastic. Thank you guys very much.
Hey, thank you, man.
Sorry,
Take care.
Thank you.